It's been a while since we checked off the WTF did we just read square on the bingo card. So, hey, welcome. We may or may not have lost our sanity, but thank you for joining the Escape With Me book club. We'll pull ourselves together, I swear. Escape with me, Sam Reiner.
And me, the leaves rustling in my stomach. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
Oh no.
And me, Caitlin.
I'm crying.
Me too.
Into our most recent read. I swear we're a serious podcast, guys. This book just broke us. Come with us as we evade reality and then immediately want to go back. And go into detail about a new book. We'll be covering the book from beginning to end because we had to suffer through it, so do you. There will be spoilers. Today we're going to Halloween Town, and then Christmas Town, then Halloween Town, then Christmas Town, then, well, you get it. Published October 8th, 2024. Sally's Lament is the 19th installment in the Twisted Tales series. We're jumping ahead a little bit and doing this right after Suddenly Super because Halloween.
Yes.
But it's Sally's turn for adventure, so instead of a warning about cultural appropriation and the differences between fun and harm, we look instead for a lesson about the dangers of toxic positivity and how it's a quick road to anti-inclusion and even ableism.
Yep.
I'm not kidding.
Nope, we're definitely not.
Also, way more romance, because why not? We'll get there.
Yep.
So, how does Mari do in her first US book release? Up until this point, I think she's only done Set in Stone, which also had more romance than you felt comfortable with.
Oh, that's okay, because I was like, I know we've read this author before, but I couldn't find her list of books. So 100%. I was real uncomfortable with the romance in that one.
Yeah, let's see. In between that one and this one, we have... No, Mari did another UK book with Princess of Thieves that came out right before this one. Uh-oh. I'm worried about how much romance is going to be in that book. This one follows that same vein, I feel like, where it's, oh, we need to go do a thing. And so we're going to go look at a bunch of stuff and we're going to go to a place. And then this is going to happen. And then the chapter ends on a cliffhanger. And then you go do the next thing. And then this happened. And the chapter ends with a cliffhanger. And, oh, so we did that thing.
In the simplest terms, this is a D&D campaign put together for children.
For a Halloween one-shot.
This is a Halloween one-shot for kids.
But also not for children. Maybe we should cover their eyes for chapter 18.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, we will get there. But just background on the series, who doesn't love Nightmare Before Christmas?
Honestly, I was shocked because I ended up watching half of the film. I never got back for the last half. For 1995, what a good freaking movie, man. Classic.
We watch it every Halloween.
Yes.
For the kid-friendly portion, when people are still trick-or-treating and we have to answer the door and people might see what we're watching.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So good.
One of our neighbors, they have blow-ups and stuff, and it was very Nightmare Before Christmas, but they were wearing just this amazing Oogie Boogie costume. Who's not in this book?
Not at all, which is kind of sad.
Even Kingdom Hearts had Oogie Boogie.
Yeah, Oogie Boogie's classic. Ugh.
No, we have to focus on the bad Christmas. No.
The whole story is made up. Now, listen. It's the Twisted Tales. To some extent, all of them have parts that are made up, but usually the characters and their archetypes and all that kind of stuff come from, it's a source material. None of it. What was actually happening in Christmas Town? Who knows? You don't, and so I get to do whatever I want. It was essentially the vibe of this book.
Yes. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It leaves a lot of area where the author can be really creative. You know, we've seen how some of the books the author felt stymied. I'm going to give Giancarlo Annetta that excuse on Frozen. Still bitter.
Yeah.
So this book hit me in a really weird spot where I'm like, there's stuff in here that reminds me of Giancarlo Annetta's mid-lit style.
Yes.
And then there's stuff that made me uncomfortable in the Liz Braswell style. So this book is a very interesting in-between. But yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas, love it. Sing it all the time.
Yes.
It has to be on a Disney playlist. I don't know what's wrong with you if you don't have it on there.
It's so good.
Yeah, and the play stop motion is just...
classic.
The style still looks really good.
Held up so well.
It's held up so well. Yeah, it's good. People still love it. There's still a cult following.
Yeah.
You know, we talked about The Incredibles being underrated. I think Nightmare has the appropriate cult following.
Yes, I was about to say, no, it is appropriately rated. People definitely give it what it is due. you.
Yeah, it's not like the first thing you think of when you think Disney, unless it's Halloween or Christmas, but it's up there. But about the author, so we talked about her in Sword and Stone in more detail, but this is our Emmy-winning TV news producer turned author. And the back of the book had a special blurb, which I kind of like. I like when I can see how the author ties to the source material. And it explained that apparently Mari made Tim Burton her entire personality for a while.
Really?
Yeah. That was just the blurb. It's like, the author made Tim Burton her entire personality for a while. It's like, I know people like that.
Yeah, especially with something this cult-like you said.
Yeah, and I can kind of see it. There's things that she does in this book, and I'm like, are you high?
Mm-hmm.
But I can see how much she loves the characters, though. I think that does go through with Sally and Jack.
Agreed.
Especially Zero.
Oh, Zero. The real hero.
So I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
So a part of me is really, really happy for her. This must be like a dream come true. As a human being, I'm so happy for you. You obsessed about this IP growing up, and now you have the chance to make your own mark, create your own addition to that IP. That is so amazing. I hope everyone has a chance to do that. Mari, are you okay?
Yeah. Well, so here's my thing. If everything you just said is true, I am forced to believe that it was a Trojan horse. Disney was like, man, you really like Tim Burton. You want to do one for this? But then they gave her the bones of a book and said, make it work. And spoiler alert, I don't think she did.
I think she put all the puzzle pieces together. We're just all really confused what the picture is.
Yeah, that's fair too, I guess.
I think she made it fit, but I'm just like, those were choices. Choices were made. And here's the thing. I would be less baffled if she did it badly. If it was complete crap, I could just be like, oh, this is trash. Let's move on. Whatever. But the reason it broke us is it's also kind of good.
Yes.
But we're going to talk about chapter 18, and that's probably what broke me the most. But also, it's good.
Yes.
And that feels weird.
I thought it was so funny because I made this post on our thread because, you hadn't gotten as far ahead as I had. So I said, chapter 18, am I crazy or is...
You scared me to death!
Am I crazy that this scene is written so well and more intimate than any other smut sex scene I may have read? What is happening? And that's the whole book.
No. I read your comment. I remember this comment and you scared the crap out of me. Literally.
Thought there was going to be sex in it.
So you wrote that and I texted you. I don't normally comment on stuff because we're not supposed to talk about it before the podcast, but what? You can't just say that. So I text you and I'm like, what are you talking about? And you say, you gotta get there. I'm so freaking conflicted. I've been on Sally most of the book, but this scene, it was either great or garbage. And in the moment, I can't tell.
I really couldn't. I was so confused.
But now that we've been there, I'm there with you.
Yes.
Oh, we gotta get through this intro so we can just start.
Okay.
Age level, this is YA. The romance feels a little older.
Yes.
But it's not that scary for a Halloween book.
No, not at all.
The Halloween Town stuff is literally, if you listen to This Is Halloween, she just mentions that stuff.
Yeah.
Like she mentions the clown with a tearaway face like 3 times. So that's as scary as this is gonna get. But yeah, some of the romance stuff, questionable.
Yeah.
Granted, I will say this. If I had read it in middle school, I would have read the scene for what it was.
Yes.
And not read into it like I do as an adult.
It was very metaphorical. I agree with you. I do not think a middle schooler would have picked up on its true purpose, but
the lines.
Yes, as you're reading, you're just like, what are they saying? Well, then I also felt that way about, and this is something like it's pretty obvious from the beginning when we get into it, about her relationship with Jack versus her relationship with Dr. Finkelstein. On paper, it's just these two men and how they treat her, but in a more meta way, it is 100% showing you how you can present and how you can feel based on how you're being treated and how you perceive the treatment that you're getting. And that's why I was so conflicted. I was like, this book is so deep. Like, it's talking about abuse and control and being who you are and blah, blah, blah. But on the other hand, they talk about the leaves in her stomach fluttering 8 bajillion times.
And her only facial expression is scrunching her nose.
Yeah.
And the villain's named Mr. Jingles.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Jingle, 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 jingle.
I thought I was talking about a cat every time I wrote about him. There are unserious villain names.
Yes.
That work. And then there's that.
Yep. Mr. Jingles.
So content warning, though, like we mentioned, definitely some abusive control.
Yeah.
It really delves into the Dr. Finkelstein and Sally thing. thing in the way I don't think the movie does. The movie kind of glosses over it.
Yeah.
Because she's such a side character. But this book is like, no, let's call him out.
Yep.
He's terrible.
Yeah. How he treats me.
So that is definitely there. And then there's some stuff with a very militant army, but in like the most PG way. Yeah, he has complete military control of the whole town and everyone's scared of him and he just arrests people.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it. I don't really think it needs to be content warning, but I'll be generous. Maybe gore. She talks about ripping off her limbs and sewing them back on a lot, but she also talks about being fabric a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And we've seen it done creepy. I don't know how else to put it. The first book, Liz Braswell talking about cutting up the magic carpet. Traumatizing.
Yep, that's true.
So when I compare that to this, I'm like, she pulls off her arm and then she sews it back and then she pulls off her head and she sews it back. Everything works. There's a moment where she kind of ties her arm and her leg, so that's a little creepy, but also like,
Yeah.
So that's there. If that's just something you cannot handle, I'm sure there's people, then there you go. She does that a lot. But judge a book by its cover, I still thought Christmas was coming to Halloween Town.
And that's 100% fair. I went back and looked at the cover and yeah, because they literally have snow and everything in the graveyard.
Yeah, at the bottom, you know, they have like the top and there's Sally and there's the trees and whatever. But then at the bottom, it's Spiral Hill covered in snow and you see snowmen and all that stuff. And so I still thought Christmas was coming to Halloween Town.
Yeah.
But no, it's about Christmas Town being toxic, not Halloween Town being toxic.
Yeah.
Which I'm still fine with that creative decision. I actually kind of like that it's completely different because we've read books where it's like, oh, there's a little twisty twist, but it's basically the movie.
Yeah, no, this definitely wasn't that. I liked the idea of Sally showing up first definitely changed the trajectory because she eventually comes back and tells Jack and he acts exactly like he does in the film, but she's there to be like, no, slow down, calm down, stop getting obsessive.
Let's not. At the end of the book, he's like, we could have Christmas in Halloween Town. And Sally is like, or we could just make Halloween accessible for everyone.
Yeah.
Like I said, ableism comes up a lot. So he just got a hint at that. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's probably right.
Yeah, that's easier.
That makes sense. But yeah, starts out, Sally can't do anything. She's very upset about it. She manages to go and see Jack, though. Okay.
This is one for one the film. This entire first section is the film.
But the way I think the author handled this part in the whole abusive control thing really well, as in portraying it. In the movie, it's so glossed over. It's like, ha, another Halloween Town thing where they're so kooky. But in the book, you're reading it and she's like, I literally drug Dr. Finkelstein so I can leave the house.
Yeah, because it's the only way I can get out.
Dang.
Yeah.
We'll never look at the movie the same way.
Because I went back and I watched that first part, like the audio of it, her and Dr. Finkelstein, where he comes up and you've poisoned me for the last time, and it wore off sooner than you thought. That's all straight from the film, but I really loved getting her internal narrative for some of the stuff that happened in the film, because it highlighted things very well.
Yeah. Especially there's a part later where she's talking to Jack and Jack makes a comment maybe about Dr. Finkelstein. And so Sally's internal monologue is, did he know how Dr. Finkelstein treated her? It embarrassed her to think that he might. Ugh.
Yeah.
Facts. There are so many people that put up with abuse and they don't seek outside help because it's freaking embarrassing how vulnerable you are and you don't handle it how it's supposed to be, and it's just really embarrassing.
Oh, that's how you took that? I actually interpreted your comment as, oh, how horrible would it be if Jack knew and didn't do anything about it?
Also that.
She would be embarrassed that he knew what was going on and never said anything, never did anything. That would change her opinion of him. That's kind of how I read your comment.
Oh, that hurt my heart.
Yeah, no, it does.
Oh, that's so real. But yeah, everything's the same except instead of Zero leading Jack to the forest, Zero leads Sally to the forest. And she goes through Christmas.
Yep.
And then she gets to Christmas Town first. Except she has a vision about jingling bells. So that's where I thought, oh, there's Oogie Boogie dressed up as Santa Claus.
No. Nope.
It's Mr. Jingles.
Yeah.
Who's an elf but tall.
Very tall, skinny. He felt like the parallel of Jack, but in Christmastown, but actually evil. Because she described him as tall, thin, long. It gave me similar vibes to Jack.
Yeah, because Jack's like, I'm the Pumpkin King. I'm kind of in charge, but also the mayor's kind of in charge.
Yeah.
But goes to Christmastown. Okay, let's just talk about one of the inconsistencies that bugged the heck out of me.
Okay.
Can Sally get cold or can she not get cold? Because she falls into a bunch of snow in the beginning of the book, and she's like, wow, I probably should be cold right now, but I'm made of a bunch of cloth, so I don't feel anything. Anyway, I'm walking around in the snow without anything, and I am not cold. And then later in the book, she's like, oh, I wore pants to prevent myself from getting cold.
Fair.
Can she?
The biology of all the creatures here make 0 sense. Actually, I would argue potentially negative sense.
I wish she went harder into it, yeah.
No, she did. She went too hard. She explained things she didn't need to.
Oh, you mean the ears part?
Like the whole ears thing, like you said, she said it at least twice. I remember where she said, if I had bones, I'd feel X, Y, and Z. Don't. Just leave it a mystery, fam. And then, like I said, the ears part. Yeah, it was funny to be like, oh, Jack doesn't have ears. You literally threw that comment in, though, so that in 5 sentences, you could explain why we needed to cover up his ears.
I don't know. That does feel like I've been a Tim Burton fan for forever, and someone's like, oh, how can he have ears? And she's like, I have an answer.
That's fair.
It's not a plot hole.
Oh, but yeah, the biology was just nonsense.
So Sally has a bunch of ragdoll things because she's a ragdoll, and then she meets a porcelain doll named Abigail, who she had way more chemistry with, and I shipped it. But Disney's not going to go there. But Abigail's made of porcelain, right?
Yes.
How can she scrunch her nose?
Yeah.
Which, once again, is her favorite facial expression.
Yeah.
How can a porcelain doll scrunch her nose? That's not a thing.
It reminds me. There's been a Twilight resurgence on my feed recently, and it reminds me of this one person who said, I'm just here for your weekly reminder that when vampires kiss and come together, and then she just bangs 2 porcelain plates next to each other because they're described as feeling and sounding like marble.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's what I imagined when she kept describing her as porcelain and then giving her facial expressions. I'm like, are we just hearing like grinding? Is she slowly grinding things away?
I want to hear about how walking around makes her tinkle. It felt like it could go towards story in parts, and I really wish she'd go into the camp. Tim Burton is very serious in art and goth and da-da-da-da, but it's also camp.
Yeah.
Embrace it. Let's go. Let's name him Mr. Jingles, but also make him kind of unserious. He thinks he's serious, but to everyone else, he's unserious. But no, I would have loved more camp, but alas. But she goes to Christmastown. She looks around. She actually goes to Christmastown. Speaking of which, I had so many placeholders. Like, she will describe elves and then never give them names.
Oh, really? I thought she mentioned elves.
Yeah, I had 3 elves in the beginning. The woman that gave her the cloak with snow white hair and pale skin. And then we have the one elf who had the boxes, and he kept saying, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, who has brown eyes.
Oh.
And then the candy store owner with the salt and pepper beard and a big belly also doesn't get named. Then we have the 2 elves making cookies, one with a beard and one that's bald. They mentioned that Frank and Fred have gone missing, but they don't get names. And then at the end of the book, we have the coal miner elves and the dude that gets arrested, who apparently has a purple beard, but he doesn't get a name. But his wife, who is not seen in the book other than in a vision, gets a name. Her name is Flora.
Huh.
In the end, we have 28 named characters, and not even that many, because she mentions Behemoth, Corpse Kid, Mummy Boy,
Yeah.
the Mayor, Lock, Shock, and Barrel, who are barely in the... I think Barrel gets mentioned later on, so that's 7 characters that are named but aren't actually in the book. Igor isn't in the book, and then Frank and Fred aren't in the book, and then we get 4 names of elves on the naughty list, 1 reindeer, and then a robot. So we're up to 16 named characters that aren't in the book.
Wow.
So we have 12 named characters.
Dang.
That we see.
That's wild.
Yeah, this is the least amount of characters I swear I've ever seen.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. That's wild.
Crazy. So yeah, I find that very interesting. I don't know what it means, but it interested me, so now everyone else gets to know it too. That's how ADHD works.
I was about to say you don't have ADHD without saying you have ADHD.
But yeah, oh no, everything's perfect, but everyone's acting weird and saying it's fine and it's nice, and she calls a boy naughty, which would be fine in Halloween Town, but he gets arrested.
Yeah, oof.
AKA stuffed in a sack and taken away.
And no one knows where he goes.
Anyway, Santa seems cool, but Mr. Jingles is weird.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's the villain.
Listen, I was convinced through most of the thing that Santa was actually in on it.
Nah, she's too mid-lit for that.
Yeah, Santa can't be evil. They just kept dropping things. Like, they kept consistently saying, Santa's too nice. There's no way.
If Santa knew, he would never allow this.
Exactly. And I'm like, oh, that just feels like you're dropping it so much for Santa to be involved.
Or at least that he's had some sort of sanitized version. Jingles is telling him something, but it's a very sanitized version. Like, he's like, oh, these ruffians have taken over town. It's just terrible. And I've got it under control now, but they were just so awful. And Santa's like, oh my goodness, I'm so happy you're here and doing this. And so when Sally's like, hey, the bad things are happening, he'd be like, oh my goodness, and have like a crisis. Like, do I trust the person that I've known forever or this random woman I've met once? But no, he didn't know anything. And as soon as someone tells him, he believes them immediately. And we'll get there. But yeah, no, this is a little too mid-lit for that.
Yeah, you're right, I guess.
There's a talent show, and the winner of it gets to be a toy given to a child. This dude is talking nonstop about how he doesn't have enough toys and he needs to get ready for Christmas, and you just have like a bunch of toys hanging out?
Well, it was an interesting idea, right? That it's the sentient toys, right? Because in a universe like this, so there's the sentient toys walking around Christmas Town, but then there's obviously the non-sentient toys that are created by the elves, right? That actually go out, but only one sentient toy gets passed out. What? That's wild.
Go full Toy Story. I want to see it.
Commit.
No, we will not. Thank you. But they have to do a talent show, and the winner gets to go in Santa's sleigh and get a child.
That sentence did not come together well.
That's how they say it in the book. We can't fall apart on getting a child, okay?
You're not wrong.
So here's the thing with that. Santa knows that, right? He's part of this. He understands the winner gets the thing.
Yes.
At the end of the book, when Sally's like, hey, Abigail wants to get a child, and Santa's like, really? You do? And she's like, yes, that's been my biggest dream. He's like, well, by gosh, by golly, I'm gonna take you. Why do you think they entered the talent show?
Yeah.
Literally all the toys want that.
Yeah, it's an established thing.
Santa, you can't be this dumb. But yeah, they go on to the talent show. There's this really weird moment where a robot overheats, and so he's off to the side getting cooled down by the firefighters, and everyone just watches?
Yeah.
It's really weird, especially considering this is a world where everything has to be fine or you might get arrested.
Yeah, why are you drawing attention to it?
Yeah, why are you guys all watching it? Anyway, this angers Sally enough to go on stage and take her head off and scare everybody.
Yeah, like, I've got to defend him. She's definitely got a little bit of a savior complex, I'll say.
Well, here's the thing. She has a lot of space in her heart for righting injustice and helping other people. And I think it comes from, one, a huge amount of empathy from being in that position, but also because she hasn't solved her own issues.
Fair.
Sometimes people will solve other people's issues because it's easier for them than solve their own.
Well, yeah, hence the conversation between her and Abigail at the end.
Yeah, where they're both like, hey, maybe we should fix our situations. Well, technically, they're like, you should fix your situation. And the other one's like, well, maybe you should fix your situation.
Whoops, called out.
And then they both fix their situation.
So easy.
The amount of problems that are solved by a couple cute little one-liners in this book,
yes,
drives me nuts. But this scares everyone, and then now she's about to be arrested, and so Abigail helps her and then runs away. And then, of course, Abigail's going to get arrested to the surprise of no one.
No one. Literally no one.
But Sally goes back to Halloween Town, tells Jack. Jack's like, oh my goodness, we must go immediately. And I was like, oh, I was kind of hoping they'd see another door. Because she'd be like, hey, we can't go to Christmas Town right now.
I'm wanted.
I'm wanted. But if you want adventure, here's all the other doors.
Yeah.
So I was hoping a little bit we'd get to see another one, but we don't. alas.
That honestly would have been a great twisted tale too of what if they didn't go to Christmas Town?
We got an anthology book, second anthology. What if they went to Thanksgiving? I don't know.
That's where I want to see them go. That's my question.
It is a little funny when they go there and Sally and Jack are trying to decide what the other holidays are.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I was floored at that. Why would you celebrate turkey? They're so dumb.
And then the egg one where he's like, I bet, what was it? One of them was like human sacrifice. One of them was wild.
Oh, it was the 4th of July one. The explosions.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Guess what St. Patrick's Day means. They guess what Thanksgiving means. They guess what 4th of July means. And Easter. Easter was also wild.
Obviously, this is American holidays because what?
Yeah. Imagine if this was a UK release. I would revolt.
Oh, that's true. I didn't even think about that.
But yeah, that was kind of funny. I do think Jack and Sally are very in character to the point of being safe.
What do you mean?
Because they kind of have character progression, but do they really?
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm not surprised it's written by someone who loves Tim Burton and loves these characters.
Yeah, I'm going to say pretty truthful to him.
Sally does get a nap, though. Thank heavens. I was like, you're not making this girl run around for 48 hours with no sleep.
Yeah, it had been a long time. Also, do they need sleep? I mean, I guess, but...
I have no idea. I don't know how any of this works to begin with.
No.
But she has this cape that she's wearing, and Sally's smaller than Jack.
Significantly shorter.
She's tall, but compared to Jack, she's small, right?
Yes.
She takes this cape that she was wearing and deconstructs it and makes an entire suit for him. I have physics questions. I don't think that math is mathin'.
And also, the cape canonically came from a small porcelain doll toy. How is there so much cape there?
Well, no, it came from an elf. She got the cape from a random elf with white hair and pale skin because the elf was like, oh, let me get you something. And then runs into a store, runs back out, gives it to her. And she's like, oh, that was nice. And she's like, yes, always got to be nice. And then she goes ice skating.
Oh, I thought it was Abigail that gave it to her.
So even worse, she got it from an elf who went to a store made for elves. I shouldn't fit her to begin with anyway.
Yeah.
Whatever. Physics doesn't exist in this universe.
Yeah, physics doesn't exist. Nope, not at all. Yeah, and then she grabs that nightshade and that ingredients for the invisibility potion.
Does she ever use nightshade?
No. Does she use the invisibility potion?
Yeah.
100% was thrown back in there because they realized they needed to make her invisible for a heist.
Which is fine. I'm in Glee's continuity. There we go. So they go there. Oh no, they're soldiers, but they're able to do stuff like drink hot chocolate. They get everything for free. Oh, by the way, Sally got sugar plums earlier. In her vision, sugar plums were dancing in her head and it was very cute.
Yes.
I actually really liked that plot line a lot.
I loved her trying to figure everything out and then her trying to casually understand Christmas as things were being thrown at her. When he's like, yeah, the dance and the sugar plum, she's like, how did you know? What? Are you psychic?
He's like, oh, you know, the famous Christmas poem? She's like, of course I know that. And then there was another one where it's like, Merry Christmas. And she's like trying to figure it out. She's like, it's Christmas? He's like, yeah, the biggest holiday of the year. And she's like, oh, yeah, it creeps up on me every year.
So fast. Yes, I loved her attempting to do that. However, I did go back and watch the film. Part of the film that I got to watch, what's this? Jack knows the name of everything. Every single thing he is able to identify, from the candies and X, Y, and Z and the lights going everywhere and the snow. It's for the song, right? But he knows it.
Yeah.
How does Jack know it, but Sally is not aware? I don't know. She's in an abusive, controlling relationship. Maybe that's it. But I realized Jack knows the name for every single thing that he sees in Christmas Town.
Yeah, that just sounds like a plot hole in the movie.
Yeah.
I honestly think Sally exploring the Christmas Town was when the book was its strongest.
Yes, I agree.
It was just really good and interesting seeing someone whose culture is entirely Halloween Town going into Christmas Town trying to make sense of it all.
Yeah.
Doing a pretty successful job, honestly. She did pretty well, but I thought that was pretty cool. And so you're right. Once they go to the world, she's like, oh, this is sugar plums and this is ice skating and this is... So she tells him stuff and he doesn't know the things automatically.
Yeah.
Interesting. But yeah, Abigail's missing. Oh no!
Who's surprised?
So Sally and Jack decide to break into this new warehouse. There was an old warehouse which they ducked through earlier, which I'm surprised they just left the old warehouse and didn't turn it into something.
Wasteful resources, man.
You know, for a town all about being nice and charming, you think they would make, like, I don't know, a bookstore?
Yeah.
Like a book warehouse, or turn it into a bunch of little things. Also, if we're always super, how are we ever going to do this? Why don't you have 2 factories?
Yeah, fair.
Why isn't that one still working? Anyway, beside the point. They break into the warehouse because they want to get through Mr. Jingle's stuff to see if there's any clue about where Abigail went, which Zero, being a really good retriever, is brought up in the beginning of the book when he gets Sally's arm, which I'm pretty sure was in the movie.
Yes, not highlighted as much in the film.
No. And so I thought that was going to come up again, and it doesn't. I thought that was a good moment to be like, hey, retrieve a thing for us, but that doesn't work. So instead, we get these scenes. Okay, it's 2 of them, honestly. It's chapter 17 and chapter 18 for me.
Yep.
First of all, Jack distracts the soldiers with polite conversation, and it's kind of great.
Yeah.
He just walks up to him and he's like, oh my goodness, you guys are working so hard. Here are some candies, and gives him the candies. And he's like, man, it must be tough being here. You should tell me all about your day. And they do.
Hook, line, and sinker. Oh my gosh. They're like, yeah, man. And they describe it as like eating through sugar plums. The audio narrator was very good on that part.
I love that. I do like how Jack's talent is smoozing and charisma, and he is definitely a charisma caster.
Yeah. And I said it earlier, and I missed the parts we didn't talk about the hot chocolate, but Jack is such big golden retriever energy.
He is.
He's so sweet. And it's yeah. Love Jack.
And so I do love, there's several times where he talks them out of situations, and he does a really good job of it. It's like, thank you. That is his talent. But this is where you have the weird, Sally can't squeeze through the bars, so she attaches her leg and her arm to unlock the back door. And I love that they give her things that only she could do.
Yeah.
Obviously, Jack couldn't do that. But can you imagine running into that? She doesn't know what's in the hallway.
Yeah.
She doesn't know if anyone's going to turn around the corner and open the door before it gets to the... Can you imagine being your little elf self walking around and you run into that?
Yeah, these poor elves absolutely terrified.
That's the most horrifying thing that's been in this book. And it's glossed over.
Yeah.
That's some Silent Hill crap. Oh my goodness. But it works. And then she does a really rushed job sewing them back on. And I was like, I swear to goodness, if her limbs don't fall out. They do.
They do. It works.
Huzzah. But then there's another continuity issue because she will get there. There's another continuity answer once we get there. But they do the invisibility potion, and it works just in time for them not to get caught. They go to his office, and they learn that Mr. Jingles has his own naughty list. Does Santa never go to his office? That's a little ominous. That's a little,
Yeah, a little burying your head in the sand.
Tell me you're the villain.
He's literally got his own secret lair with hidden maps.
Literally, it is a carbon, not a carbon copy, but it's a lot like Santa's office.
Yeah, wannabe.
So they end up hiding in the chimney because she's worried that the invisibility potion's going to wear off soon. Lame invisibility potion. You gave you what, like 5 minutes?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's fine, honestly. But so that leads them to both hiding in the chimney. And I literally thought you confused chapter 17 and chapter 18.
Nope.
Because it's literally Sally and Jack chimney cuddling.
Yep.
Where he is pressed against her body because they have to be really high into the chimney because he's so tall. And so he's right up against her and is like, oh, I can feel his breath on me. And he's pressed right up against my body and stuff. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah, already you're like, okay, this is more than we've dealt with before.
Okay. Wow. That, considering Princess and the Frog, did they even kiss?
I don't think they ever did.
This is a lot.
Yeah.
Hello. Okay, that's fair. It's fine. Chimney cuddles isn't a prominent trope, but I mean, it's pretty good. I've never thought about that before, but forced into a tight space together. You know, it works.
It works, yeah.
I wasn't mad at the chimney cuddles.
Honestly, though, the height difference dynamic in that space doesn't actually work.
No, it's very confusing, but it's fine. It's not fine in chapter 18, but we'll get there. This is where they learn about something called soot fang, and I immediately thought, oh, they were going to be in coal mines. And yes, they are both in the coal mines, and there is a soot fang.
You called that.
Something we have not mentioned, and we joked about in the intro because it's so prevalent. I thought it was very clever in the beginning of the book, where I think it was her stomach, where instead of saying the butterflies in my stomach were rustling, or whatever verb you want to use there. It was the leaves, because she's literally a doll stuffed with leaves.
Yes.
So I'm like, oh, okay, that's cute. I actually like that a lot.
Yeah.
And then it happened again and again.
And again.
And again. And it's not just in her stomach.
It's everywhere.
They're in her chest, too.
Yep.
To the point, I sarcastically made a note. In the chimney, she said something inside her fluttered. And I said, it's the leaves, isn't it? I bet it's the leaves.
Yep, and it was. It's always the leaves.
It's the leaves rustling, her and Abigail both scrunching their nose.
Yeah.
There's a couple other things, but those two just wear out their welcome to me.
Yes, it's way too much. It's incredibly overused.
A content editor really should have been like, hey, vary it up a little bit.
Yeah.
It's funny the first 3 times, not so much the other once per chapter minimum.
Yeah, too much. Again, these are the small details. It's not a bad story. It's really not. And she was doing so good, and I really liked it.
It was so good.
But it's these little small details, like you said, like Death by a Thousand Knives, except it's leaves.
And it pulls you out after a point where you're like, I get it. No, I get it. No, really, I get it.
Yeah.
Shut up about the leaves.
Yeah. Please stop using it so much. And they use these same descriptors so many times. Why? And then you'll get a little bit something good. You're like, oh, okay. But why?
It's fine. It's one sentence. It's fine. And then it comes up the next chapter, and then the next chapter, and then the next. There are 36 chapters, by the way, and 1 epilogue. The epilogue is the only place we're not mentioning leaves because it's about Abigail, but I bet you she scrunches her nose.
I think she did.
So, after the chimney cuddles, they tear away the naughty list, which I'm like, cool, so he knows you're there.
Yeah.
Even if you don't get caught, you guys just ripped a massive thing off of the wall. No stealth, but behind it they find a map that they're able to grab and put in their pocket.
Yeah,
The dynamics there, I know it's Jack, but like, come on, he doesn't have pockets. Not in that outfit. Granted, he's wearing a Christmas-themed outfit, so maybe. But his suit, that thing doesn't have pockets. That's not real.
No.
So they grab it, they get caught, they're running, Sally's legs come off, yay continuity. Since they can't run, they hide in the ventilation ducts, which is a bad trope because they're not that big.
No.
But it's classic. I'll let it slide on that alone. It's so cliche, it's classic, so I'm just, whatever.
Yeah.
It's assumed, it's accepted, it's an axiom, fine.
And then the part that broke us.
Jack wants to sew her leg back on, which doesn't make a lot of sense because she's the one with the experience.
I honestly want you to pull out the book and read this section because I don't feel like we could do it justice.
I will. I have the screenshots.
Please pull it out and just read this section because I both love it and hate it. You sent this screenshot to people?
I send a screenshot to people, yes. I had to let them know.
I was so confused.
Okay. It's sewing sex. Can we just say it? Like,
it really is. It really is. Like you said, if you're a child, you're not going to pick up on the innuendos. As an adult, you're like, this is dirty. This is intimate. This is real intimate.
Yeah. Like, holy crap. First of all, what about her arm?
Oh, yeah.
We never sew the arm back on properly, but no one cares about the arm, but it's her leg.
Nope, because the leg.
Literally her leg. So what, her thigh?
Well, no, I think it was where her lower leg connects to her knee. So there is some gentle grazing above the knee.
Still, this is a man she hasn't had a conversation with before 2 days ago. And now he is taking her legs and I quote.
Oh, God.
Do I have text-to-speech somewhere? I wanted to make it more glorious. And I quote.
No, if I can pull it up on the audiobook if you want to hear the audio person read it.
Well, the thing is, you said she sounds breathy.
Yeah,
when she reads it. What is this editing direction? And I quote, Jack got to work sewing with care, making sure each and every stitch was even and tight. Okay, sewing, right?
Yeah, it's just innocent sewing. He's putting her back together.
The next sentence. Sally watched, hardly able to breathe, as the needle wove in and out of her fabric. And she couldn't help a small tremble as his fingers brushed against her leg. He looked up immediately, his eyes rimmed with concern. "Did I hurt you?" he asked worriedly. She shook her head wordlessly. "It did hurt a little, of course. It always did. But so much, this is where it gets like, ew, actually, let's stop. Like, it was fine until this comparison came out. And I'm like, ew, that's her dad. But so much less than when Dr. Finkelstein would carelessly jab his needle into her cloth. God, without caring how she was feeling or even if the stitches would hold for the long haul. So bad. It's so bad. But Jack was different. Meticulous, gentle. Instead of feeling uncomfortable, she felt a strange warmth settle in her stomach. God. Soon Jack finished, giving her a shy smile as he tied off the last stitch. Oh, I'm crying again. And then it's the next page, and I don't remember the first part of the sentence, but it says, on his face, she realized he'd felt something too. Oh my gosh. Maybe it wasn't exactly the same, maybe not as strong, but something, which made her feel even warmer. Better, he asked. Much, she agreed. Thank you. I'm at your service, he said with a mock salute. Then he grinned goofily. Now come along, let's get out of here. Oh my gosh, such golden retriever energy. I can't. Like, that's filth. I'm telling you, that is absolute filth. This is smut with a mention of incest sprinkled in. What are we reading? I told you before we were recording, but it's so bad. I told a bunch of people, I sent the screenshots to people, that's why I have it. But it was so bad because I sent it to one of our co-stars, Tim, and yesterday I was like, I need to crochet some, I need to catch up. People's birthdays are coming up. And he just texted me back and was like, oh, you're gonna do some chapter 18. No! Oh my gosh. I will walk off a building. Oh my gosh. But here's the crazy thing, because that, like you said, absolute filth. This is smut that belongs in a novel with two half-naked people on the front of it, right? But on the other side, I think it was this scene or maybe another one, but there was a scene where he's sewing her up and she's like, no, like, I can do it. It's this scene. Yeah, she's like, oh no, I can do it. He's like, no, I want to help you. I know you can, but let me take care of you. But he's the one who's been like, oh, I can't sew. No, he does. He can sew. He has a sewing machine. Never mind. So it does make sense. But I'm not infantilizing you. I'm not trying to say you can't. But you've done so much for us. Just let me take it. Let me do this thing for you. I want to do something to help you. And I'm like, but that's so sweet. He's such a good guy. Because the monologue specifically points out when Dr. Finkelstein helped her, she hated it because he made her feel useless. Yes. Like an infant. But when Jack does it, it's helpful, it's sweet, it's kind, it's gentle, it's nice. And I think that does a really good dynamic of it could be the same actions, but the intention makes it so different. Exactly. And that is the issue with this book. Those two wildly different themes juxtaposed on each other in the same 30 sentences, like the same paragraphs next to each other, that you have a whiplash. You're like, oh, this is so sweet, but also, yes, like I said, this belongs in a smut novel. Yep. Oh my gosh. But heaven forbid we have an action scene. Oh, right? We'll get there. Well, Jack does almost walk off a cliff, but yeah. That's not an action scene. That's a siren scene. Oh my goodness, the music, beautiful. I'm gonna walk off a cliff. No! Sally tackles him, wraps her scarf around his head. We learn that he has ears. No, he doesn't have ears. That's the point. Oh my gosh. Anyway, that's a whole other issue. Yeah, so that's chapter 18. So I got to that section first, and I was real confused. And that's when I added this comment that we referenced, and Sam immediately freaked out and texted me. He's like, what the actual heck do you mean by this? My co-star's scaring me. Like, I am terrified. And then I'm morbidly interested at this point, but I'm so terrified and so excited at the same time. What could that mean? Your choice of GIF had me rolling. She said it was from Schitt's Creek. From Schitt's Creek, yeah. I'm feeling this like deep sense of aching dread.
It's so appropriate. Because the only ever time I've gotten to do this was with Sword in the Stone, right? I made that comment and I was just like, when you get to this and look at that, that was her too. Apparently that's just what this author does to us.
And then I sent another one when it was like, also finally made it to chapter 18. What's the actual F?
Yeah. It's a lot. And like I said, the voice actor is way too breathy when they're saying each other's name before they kiss but don't get to kiss. It's all Jack, Sally. I'm like, oh, stop. This is too much.
This is made for 16-year-olds.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Way too breathy. God bless.
So they end up, they're like, okay, let's go to that thing. How convenient. He circled it.
Yeah. X marks the spot. Again, midlit.
The villain is an idiot.
Midlit.
So we have 2 chapters of them just walking and bonding, and then she falls into a nog bog, which is basically quicksand. And once again, I thought quicksand was going to be a much bigger issue.
Nope, she just floats, apparently. Again, physics don't know her.
Does that work in quicksand?
No!
Because the reason that it works in water is you're spreading your weight.
Yeah.
She thinks, oh, when you swim, you do this thing. And so it's different when you're in the water and you're standing versus when you're floating on the back, you're spreading yourself out. And so the water has less weight it has to handle, and that's why you float. But she's already neck deep, and then she tries to start floating.
I just let go of my legs.
And she manages it?
Yeah. No, physics, who is she?
Doesn't that count as struggling?
Yeah, I don't know. You're literally trying to lift your legs up, exactly. But it's eggnog, so who cares?
If you could lift your legs up, we wouldn't have a problem.
Yeah.
I don't think that works with solids.
No, it's just not. I don't know. Maybe she's the equivalent of a cinnamon stick and a piece of eggnog. Who knows? Doesn't make any sense.
Someone in the comments is going to come out. It's like, actually, that does work. And we're all going to be like, oh, we finally know how to get out of quicksand.
Yeah, we'll try it next time we have eggnog. When the holiday comes along.
Next time it comes up.
Yeah.
First chance I get.
But yes, we have to do our 3 obligatory minor adventures before you get to your boss. So the first one is the Nog Bog.
AKA 1 chapter. Oh, but don't skip over. We got to stay in an abandoned cabin because there's a storm outside.
Yeah, we got to do there's only 1 bed trope.
Is it just me? Or here's one of the problems I have. She's from Halloween Town. Oh my gosh, all this is amazing. I love it so much. Scary things. Yeah. For the first third of the book, right?
Mm-mm.
And then she gets scared really easily for the rest of the book.
What do you mean?
I don't know. That was just something I noticed where Jack would still be like, oh, this is awesome. Scary thing. And she'd be like, actually, I'm terrified. Which I thought was a little weird. She abandons all of her, oh my gosh, this is amazing because it's creepy.
Yeah, never noticed.
I don't know. I just personally had a thing with that. But she has a vision about coal miners and she ends up getting a key. Why did they have the key? Why didn't the soldiers take the key? Are there more than 1 key? There has to be more than 1 key. Why did they have it to the jail in the mine? They're in the mine. They're walking around. They follow the singing because apparently even though they're anti-Christmas and if you do anything Christmas related, we're going to yell at you or I don't know, but they're still able to do Christmas caroling? Anyway, they do Christmas caroling and so Jack and Sally are able to find them and then they come upon the door to the jail, which requires a key, which they get from this abandoned cabin?
Yeah, that had one of the coal miners, one of the ones that lived there at some point.
Yeah, and the coal miner tried to tell Santa and that's why he got arrested.
Narc. Sorry. That flashback was so funny where he's like, Santa has to know the truth. And just, I can't even imagine. Oh, what's Arcane, the show, the villain in Arcane? Oh, gosh.
I can't help you.
I don't know. He just emerges from the shadow like, hey, joke's on you. I've got your letter. Santa's not going to know about this.
I'm evil.
Yeah, very much so.
Don't forget he's Mr. Jingles. And he's the Supreme Court judge.
Essentially.
Even though he's the only judge.
Yeah.
Because being a Supreme Court implies that there's federal courts and state courts and county courts. Like, there's a whole court system here to be a Supreme Court.
Yeah, who knows?
All of my legal questions aside, because he's the only judge. So I guess that's why he gets to be the Supreme Court. I don't know. But yeah, he shows up as much as possible to be evil, evil, evil. If you've forgotten what the point of this book is. Evil, evil, evil. So they go up to the cliffs instead of the bog. Oh no, there's sirens singing carols and Jackal. We talked about that.
Okay, wait. No. We gotta properly. So they're leaving and there's this this casual thing because they're like, oh, we need to get dressed because it's going to storm and we're going to be cold. And she's like, don't you need a hat? I'm pretty sure he was wearing a hat earlier in the story.
He was. She made him a hat.
Don't you need a hat to keep your ears warm, Jack? No, I don't have ears, Sally. Well, how do you hear things? I guess sound just gets absorbed into my skull and goes to my brain.
He had a word for it. He had a scientific term for it.
He did. I don't remember what it was. And he just shrugs, guess so. And she's like, I've never thought about it like that. Literally just in there because we decide someone told this author, hey, you got to do sirens. And she's like, but Jack Skellington doesn't have any ears. I don't know how that'll work. It's like, I don't care. Make it work.
It felt so personal. It felt so personal to the author that happened.
I was upset. And Sally's like, what do I do? He doesn't have any ears. I got to tackle him. I'm sitting on top of him, making sure he doesn't move. And I just decide I'm going to try it. I mean, put my hands over where his ears should be. Guess what? He comes back. So we just canonically established he doesn't have ears. But if you cover up enough of his skull, it works.
Because that's the thing. If he is able to do whatever the heck she mentioned, I don't remember what it is. But if it is that sound hits the skull and the skull acts as a transmitter straight to the brain, it should be his entire head.
Yes.
Not just where the ears are. So yeah, you're right. She covers his ears and he's like, oh, I'm able to think again. And what? I almost jumped over. And she ends up wrapping her scarf around her head. But can we talk about when she takes Fluff off? She's wearing this honestly Mean Girls Santa dress and then black pants because she's like, oh, this is too short. And I was like, whoa, we're getting saucy. And she's like, and I wore black pants under it. And I was like,
oh, okay.
I would too. Fair enough. But that's when she's like, so I don't get cold. And I was like, you can't get cold.
Yeah, we established this. But they also earlier said we need to get in and put her in front of a fire and heat up water to get all the eggnog off. I don't know. Like I said.
Well, that was because it soaked into her and then she was like a sticky soaked. Imagine a stuffed animal and then dropping it in like, I don't know, Jell-O or pudding.
Yeah.
I was okay with that. Although, yeah, you're right. We need to be in front of a fire and they cuddle up next to a fire and sleep next to each other. And oh my goodness, why are we acting like this is scandalous?
Because it's a YA novel.
Because YA novel. But yeah, can we talk about when she takes Fluff off of her dress and she stuffs it in her own ears and she stuffs it in Zero's ears?
The ghost dog.
Well, let's ignore the physics because that's actually adorable. Come on, man's best friend. She's out here like, I stuff it in my ear and then I help Zero. And then I stuff more in my ear and I stuff more in Zero's ears. And I know it's for continuity, but also, yeah, he's a ghost dog. Your hand runs through him. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's cute enough where I'm like, oh, that's right. The puppy.
Zero is very cute.
But yeah, they go to the cliffs. Then they have to deal with a blizzard that they can't see anything in. But hey, Zero, who up to this point keeps disappearing to do reindeer practice.
When she was there the first time, yeah.
Yeah, the first and second time. And so he comes through, like he disappears and they're like, oh no, Zero's lost. What should we do? And then he shows up with a reindeer crew in a sled.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, that was actually a really good payoff.
I felt like it was really good at honoring Zero's original character arc because he does that in the film.
Yeah.
Need to give that nod to his little character.
So I loved that. That was a good payoff. There's some things like the invisibility potion and you're like, all right, where's the invisibility potion? Oh no, my legs are loose. All right, when you gonna lose your leg? I didn't see that one coming. I thought that was just flavor text and then it wasn't. So that was kind of cute. But thanks to that, they're able to go over the blizzard and fly off to the cave. Then they use Zero. Zero smells Abigail's hat. And so they're able to go in there. He doesn't want to go in the cave. So, okay, they go in. She leaves a trail of sugar plums. How many sugar plums did this man give her?
A lot, apparently.
Because he's like, oh, it's 5 coins. She's like, I have no money. He's like, oh, I'll just give you a free sample. And he grabs some and puts it in the bag and she eats them. And then Jack eats them. And then she has enough to put down. Maybe she's tearing them into pieces. I don't.
Has to be.
But she's able to have a trail of sugar plums, which they don't use to get back out.
They literally don't even need, yeah.
She uses it sometimes because they hit a dead end, but at the end, and we'll get to the ending. Oh, twice. Oh, anyway, they get there. It's this anti-joy prison where everything's boring and sterile. And it's like, you can't have Christmas anymore because no Christmas for you.
Because you're naughty. You don't deserve it. Yeah.
And then there's a speaker that gives announcements, which, I don't know, that was kind of camp. I kind of loved it. It's like, all prisoners that have any hope, please deposit that in the nearest trash receptacle.
In the trash. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Which is even funnier because there are no trash receptacles. There's nothing in the room.
Oh, yeah, it's just empty.
It's just empty. It's white drywall.
Oh my gosh, I missed that detail.
So it would do things every so often. But yeah, like I said, apparently they sing carols still. Which, by the way, there's a song on the cliffs, going back. It mentions silver bells, right?
Yeah, so you think they're singing Silver Bells?
Yeah. Silver bells.
Yeah.
Silver bells, silver bells, silver bells. It's Christmas time. Sally says it's not a good song.
Oh, well, I mean, they do get lured over a cliff.
She's like, that was worse than Jack's song. And I'm like, Silver bells is lovely. Talk about the little drummer boy. The little drummer boy can go off that cliff.
I love Little Drummer Boy. What are you talking about?
The worst.
What are you talking about?
Oh, I hate the little drummer boy.
Nah, fam. Josh Groban can sing The Little Drummer Boy to me all day long.
Fine. He has a lovely voice. This is a horrible idea. Hey, you just gave birth, and I know this guy gave you gold and 2 incenses and a healing thing. I'm gonna drum next to your infant child.
The story, yes, is ridiculous. The song is beautiful to me.
It's so ridiculous. Who wrote this?
Yes, that's exactly. I've seen memes of like, no, I want the tale of the moms with the casseroles who bring Mary the casseroles.
Oh my goodness, yes. So, but that's the only Silver Bell song I could think of.
Really?
Is there another Silver Bell song that's terrible?
It's not terrible. I think she was more commenting on the fact that it almost lured them to their death. It's not even a good song to be lured to.
Well, she said it was a song worse than... They talk about Frosty the Snowman. I don't remember what Jack titles his song, but it's Frosty the Snowman, but horror edition.
Yes.
And he's kind of got a point.
I would love to hear that. It is almost a horror story.
It is, and it ends with, don't worry, he'll be back one day. And you're like, oh!
Okay.
And Sally's like, oh, it sounded like a threat. And it's like, yeah, Sally, it did!
It's a threat.
That's the moment where the author is like, just in case you're stupid, it was scary. But yes, we are in the cave. We are in the anti-Joy prison. Oh no, we should figure out how to get them out. Abigail's there. She's really upset. She has a broken leg. That was a whole thing earlier where she's a porcelain doll, and if I get broken, I can't get a child. So you ruined that phrase, but we're using it anyway. Horrible, awful. Oh no, what are we gonna do? Well, we need to get the people out of here. We need to go back to Christmas Town. Then everyone needs to know about this, which immediately I was like, aren't they just gonna arrest you again?
Immediately.
But it's mid-lit, so it works out.
Yeah.
Oh no, Soot Fang has appeared. Soot Fang, who we've been hearing about for many a chapters, who I thought was gonna be like a coal wolf.
Yeah, not a bad guess.
But it's like a rock monster in general. I don't know, it made me think of that creature from Thor, not Love and Thunder, the one before that, where he's part of the fighting ring and one of the creatures is a rock monster.
Oh, I was thinking more along the lines of from Frozen, Fluffy.
Oh, yeah, the snow monster.
That's kind of more what I pictured. Yeah, the snow monster from Frozen.
He shows up and he's like, "Rawr, I'm a terrible coal monster that can breathe fire."
Yep.
Oh, that's scary. Oh no, he is crushed Jack. Jack tried to smooth talk his way out of it. It didn't work. That feels accurate.
Yeah.
Crushed Jack with rocks. Oh no, Sally. She's like, I'm too small. I'm too weak. There's nothing I can do. And Abigail's like, use your head. Why did Abigail think that? Does Abigail know Soot Fang's backstory? Why did Abigail say that? That was a weird thing to say.
No, she's seen her detach her head because Sally was making a comment about when Soot Fang was too close, it would be too late. So she was saying, take your head off and throw it at him.
Yeah.
Use your head. And she's like, what do you mean, use your head? That's how I read it. It's like Abigail was telling her, detach your head and throw it at him.
She was saying that, but why?
To get distance. He's a friggin' fire monster. You can't do any up-close damage.
I mean, he could tackle her. He's He's made of coal. Anyway.
No, that's my point. Sally can't do any up-close damage.
Sally had to do something. Sootfang opened his mouth. Sparks danced again on his blackened tongue. Your head, Sally, Abigail begged. Now! And suddenly Sally understood. She turned to Sootfang, meeting his eyes with her own. Then she reached up and yanked on her head as hard as she could. Kind of gore there, that's fair. This is never going to work, she thought. It's never going to work. But there was nothing else she could do. With a cry of rage, she thrust her head in the monster's directions, just as she had in Christmas Town Square. Leave us alone!
Yep.
So what do you think the scary coal monster does at this trick? Throughout this book, everyone has said, oh my gosh, that's barely anything. That's not scary at all. How did they run away from that? That's barely anything. It's not scary.
Yeah.
This is where I'm like, heaven forbid we have an action scene.
Mm-hmm.
Sootfang leapt backward in shock, almost losing his balance as he stumbled on some fallen rocks. His flames shot out, blah, blah, blah. He's scared. Oh no! Sally watched, too surprised to move. Was this big bag monster actually so easily frightened? It seemed impossible. But no, she took in growing realization. It wasn't fear at all that she saw written on his face as he regarded his balance and brushed himself off, but rather a strange look of curiosity. Curiosity and maybe even hope. For a moment, Sootfang just looked at her. Just looked and looked until Sally wanted to scream again. Then his mouth creaked open, but instead of shooting fire, this time he spoke. You're scary, he said in a voice filled with wonder. And that is the end of chapter 30.
Is there a question mark at the end of your scary?
It's an exclamation mark.
So I will say the voice actor read it in a way to imply you're scary? Like, oh, this person is like me.
No, he's like, you're scary.
Yeah, because it wasn't a, oh my gosh, I am scared of you, as you know and find out in the next chapter, right? Like we talked about the issue with the constant cliffhangers. He is marveling at the idea of, oh, there's another scary thing here. I thought I was the only scary thing.
Yeah, he immediately starts crying.
Yeah, I'm so understood. I found my people.
Oh, you're all right? Sally asked. Even she's confused why this is working. Addressing a monster who had been about to kill her, who was now unbelievably sobbing like a big rock baby. I thought I was the only one, he said, graveling voice. Ever since I was a little lump. He gives a tragic backstory that no one understood that he was scary.
He literally does. Yep.
And so what do? Jack, who eventually gets tunneled out of the rubble. Sootfang looked from Jack to Sally, his eyes wide with hope. Could you take me there? Absolutely, Jack declared. We can go anytime you like. Sally realized it was time to step in. We'll take you there as a favor, but only if you agree to do us a favor in return. Of course, anything you want. Whatever it takes. I'll do anything to go to Halloween Town. Very well. Sally looked around the cavern. Blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
You need to free all these prisoners. Let them go. No exceptions. Oh no, Mr. Jingles won't like that. Jack. Well, Mr. Jingles is on my naughty list, so I'm not scared of him. Sootfang looked relieved by the threat. And you'll take me to Halloween Town, and you're sure they'll like me there? They'll like you, Jack promised. They'll probably try to recruit you. Of course, at the end, Sootfang. Very well, I agree to your terms. He looked around the cavern. You're all free to go, he called out loudly.
Yep.
Everybody clapped, literally. They surrounded Jack and Sally, all trying to talk at once, and Sootfang is like, I need to pack. Please don't leave without me.
Please don't leave without me. I did love that.
That's adorable, but what part of your backstory explains why you are literally out here trying to murder people? You are a guard, a number one jewel in this corrupt man's mind, so you can guard this prison and literally shoot fire at people and try to kill them with rocks.
Yeah.
And then you're just gonna turn around like, yeah, I'm going to Halloween Town, hooray! Where are you going after winning American Idol? Halloween Town! It's like,
that's true.
the turnaround. I couldn't.
The 360. Yeah.
I had to put the book down after that.
You needed a break.
Are you serious? He led them out of the caves. He didn't want to go into Halloween Town, though, because he didn't, I don't know, plot convenience, but he was there if they needed him. Sally hoped he wouldn't need it. And anyway, she climbs a tree and yells words, and it works.
Yep. And we're back to Midlet.
It's been Midlet. We've been here.
Very far away from our intimacy scene.
what? It's just too mid-lit for me. She climbs a tree and she's like, this is terrible. And Mr. Jingle shows up and he's like, arrest them. And she's like, you're terrible. And everyone's like, yeah, you are terrible. We hate you. The guards turn on him. Santa shows up.
Yeah, immediately.
Abigail is like, he's terrible. And Santa's like, you're terrible. My favorite part of the book. The most unhinged statement goes to Santa.
What did he say?
Mr. Jingles, after being told he no longer is a judge. What are you going to do to me? He asked worriedly. Santa seemed to consider this for a moment. Then he sighed. Nothing, he said. I think there's been enough punishment handed out lately.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, okay, they're gonna let him stay in Christmas Town? Like, he's gonna get a redemption? Like, the whole point of this is you're not all naughty or nice. So I'm like, okay, maybe he has to redeem himself, community service. Nothing's gonna happen to him. He lost his job. He needs to figure himself out.
Yeah.
Next sentence. But you need to leave Christmas Town and never come back. What's gonna happen to me? Nothing. Anyway, you are immediately exiled.
Banished. Deception. Disgrace.
Santa! I don't think you know what that word means. That's the tone shifts in this book just randomly.
And it's rapid. It throws you off.
Literally the same paragraph, the next sentence. What's going to happen to me? Nothing, he sighed, or whatever he did. There's been enough judgment today. But you need to leave Christmas Town immediately. There's no place for you. Guards, please escort him into the forest now. Go somewhere not here.
Go on, get.
Can't even stay in Christmas land.
You gone. Oh, Santa.
But I really need to rethink the nice and naughty list because, no one's either.
Yes.
No evil or all good.
I guess I'm culpable because I did come up with the naughty and nice list.
I really need to rethink that. Guards, keep going.
Oh my gosh.
What is happening? Anyway, this is the part where Sally's like, Abigail wants to get a child, and Snicker's my biggest dream. Santa's like, oh, I never would consider a toy would want to have a child. Weird. I did not watch Toy Story 1, 2, 3, or 4.
I did never watch Toy Story.
Whatever.
Well, canonically, this came out before I think the first Toy Story did, if you want to give it that.
The movie did, but the book didn't.
There are Toy Story books?
No, I mean, the book came out after the movies.
Oh, well, yeah, but she's got to stay original. I will say, to go back on my word, I put a thing in 34. Mr. Jingle literally says when Santa comes in, these people have lost the plot.
Yes, he does. I was like, that's weird.
What?
That was a little too real world.
It blows my mind, totally pulls me out when they use the modern language in something that is not meant to be in our time and lost the plot? What?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I'm not usually a big stickler to that. I'm not the type of person who's like, you can't use the word okay because that came out in the 1900s. How dare you put that in my fantasy? I'm completely pulled out. I don't care.
No.
But you're right. There's something about the dialogue usage in this whole book that when he says you've lost the plot, it is bizarre.
Is she talking to us? Is she trying to break the fourth wall?
The plot is gone. What is the plot? It's somewhere in here. We lost it in the snow.
Yeah, that's actually the author trying to talk to us and tell us what's going on.
The main characters have lost the plot. My imaginary friends have taken over. This is a hostage situation. I am blinking twice. But yeah, you're right. I also got pulled out of it when he said, we've lost the plot.
That part got me.
Also, we never got into what Soot Fang packed.
Nope.
He just shows up to Halloween Town and then does stuff. What did he pack?
What did he pack? I don't know, but he is super cute. I don't know. I like the idea of Soot Fang.
I like him afterwards, but this tonal shift. Literally nothing happened. This scary, awful dragon shows up, and then she pulls her head off, and he starts crying.
There are other people like me.
Because they didn't eat his slug soup.
Yeah. Oh, his backstory was so cute, though.
Oh my gosh. You have built this dude up, but it's solved because she pulls her head off, and he's like, oh my gosh, you're scary. You understand me. I want to move to Halloween Town.
Yes. Oh, I'm not alone.
Who are your parents? How were you formed?
I think he's a stowaway from Halloween Town. I was all here for this alternate storyline that was about to come out where maybe Mr. Jingles had come and smuggled him in from Halloween Town or something.
But that would have happened decades ago.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he's 4 and that explains a lot, but questions. Because his backstory is that they never understood me. I tried to be like them, but when I tried to be myself, they were like, no, I don't want to play hide and scream or eat slug soup. Or, I don't know, there was some other stuff.
Yeah.
But it was just like,
okay.
So we're allowed to have questionable intimate scenes, but heaven forbid we have an action scene.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So yeah, they're gonna do something with Abigail so she can get a child, even though she has a busted leg. They go back to Halloween Town. The citizens don't like Christmas, but they like Soot Fang. And Sally refuses to live with Dr. F anymore, and she's her own doll.
With her own apartment.
I mean, I like the idea of it, but we're so far past that. Narratively, it was like, oh yeah, I forgot about you.
Yeah, you need to actually have your conclusion.
It's that scene from The Office that was real where Rainn Wilson actually got shocked by his co-star Angela when Dwight is flirting with this other woman at Pam's wedding.
Oh, yeah.
Angela, the character, comes up on him and Dwight goes, oh, F, or whatever he says.
Yeah.
Because it's bleeped. But apparently he legitimately got surprised by his co-star, but they kept it in.
Yeah.
But it's that scene.
Yes.
It's me going, oh yeah, you're still a problem.
Yeah, my main character, excuse me.
We have lost the plot so long ago. I don't think you've been mentioned since Fabric and Needles, but oh yeah. And so she's just like, no, I'm my own doll now.
Yeah.
Goodbye. And I was like, that's a little oversimplified.
But I do like that they give her, because again, Midlet, you can't go back and actually explain how getting away from your abuser is like, right?
The worst.
But I do like how Jack doesn't save her.
Yes.
She gets her own apartment. Jack is obviously a very well-established adult and a member of the community, and he's got the space. But
I legitimately wondered if they were going to live together.
But she got her own apartment and she's opening her own business.
She gets her own apartment. He's very encouraging. She starts her own shop. She's like, I don't know if I want to do sewing or potions. And it ends up Patterns in Potions by Sally.
Yeah, why not both?
So that was pretty good. I was like, yeah, I'm all for all of this. But it really was like, oh yeah, you were here. And it's just so crazy because it's like I started the book and I was like, yes, this is deep. Oh yeah, I can see this being the thing. And by the time we got to the end, I'm like, I have been so many places. I legitimately forgot you existed. Apparently you were too busy helping out Sora, Donald, and Goofy figuring out what a heart is. Yeah, I completely forgot about him. And so that was anticlimactic for me.
A little bit, yeah.
It was like, oh yeah, I need to tie up this loose thread. I'm sighing at the pun because you added a pun into my notes and I almost kicked you out.
I thought it was great.
You're not allowed in my notes anymore. Put this book is unraveling fast and you put unraveling in italics and then add 2 crying laughing faces. You were too amused.
I laughed so hard when I thought about it.
No. Banish shade. Ugh, whatever. There's an epilogue where it's like a week later, Sally has this thing. And oh, by the way, the book basically ends with Sally and Jack kissing. This is a romance novel.
100% cannot convince me otherwise.
Like even the adventure stuff was like, oh, and we're sitting next to each other in this sled. And oh my goodness, I tackled him and I am on top of him. And it's like,
okay.
This is more romance book than some of the romance books I've read.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Did Princess and the Frog, did Tiana and Naveen even kiss?
I literally do not think it even happened once.
And that's the romance writer.
Yep.
And then you give her Brave, that has no romantic interest. And then you throw Mari here, who clearly wants to write a romance novel.
Yeah, please, goodness, girl.
She's written them, by the way.
Yeah.
Also, Abigail gets a child and it works out because she has a brace. Abigail. And oh my goodness, the girl that she's given to also has a brace. And so, hey, once again, inclusion is important and ableism sucks. There's a lot of ableism undertones in this.
Yes, 100%. The whole speech when Sally finds Abigail and Abigail's basically like, I'm literally worthless now that I am not perfect. And Sally's like, you need to back out of here with that nonsense. That is not true.
Yeah.
And then later, Sally's like, do you remember how you told me that I was perfect, you know, despite all those things? She's like, no, it's not even despite them. Truly, you are perfect and beautiful. And she's like, get your SHID together. And then Abigail's just like, Uno reverse card, deal with Jack, please. They have a good friendship.
Yes, they had more chemistry than her and Jack did, despite all the intimate scenes. I was feeling it. She goes there and she's like, oh my goodness, the dolls are so pretty. They're so perfect. They would hate me. And then Abigail walks up and she's like, I love your dress.
Yeah.
It looks cute and not itchy.
It's practical.
It's great. And you should definitely be careful. I'm here to warn you and tell you about the customs here, but you're amazing. Let's switch outfits. I love this dress.
Instant BFF.
But the historian way where they called obvious lesbians best friends.
Yes, 100%.
I was feeling it. I was feeling it so hard. We're going to appreciate each other because she's like, oh my goodness, I would love to go to Halloween Town. If there's people like you, it's so awesome. And I'm just like,
yeah.
Bat my eyelashes. No, she gets a child like her and it's cute and it's wonderful. Yay. You should love yourself no matter what.
Yeah.
And it even ends something like, oh, I am perfect because I found the perfect child for me. The end.
Yeah. I will say I wish they didn't keep her name as Abigail. I do feel like I wish that would have been a different name.
Yeah, Santa puts a little note on there. I was like, this is Abigail. And so she's like, I'm going to name it Abigail. I was like, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Her friend Tammy coming in clutch in the end, bringing in Santa, though. Let's go, girl.
Yeah. Honestly, these toys, man, don't underestimate them.
General thoughts.
Oh, God. I still don't know how I feel about it because there are just such good themes.
I know. I haven't rated it on Goodreads yet. I don't even know what to give it.
There's such good themes, like you said, like talking about toxic relationships. And like we said, like how I cannot stress enough how the idea of one person doing something can seem icky and then another person doing it can seem just fantastic. And I think that's something that's so underrated in abusive relationships, right? Because you're like, well, this person did this to me and they were abusive. Therefore, I can't ever experience it again because it must be abuse. And it's like, no.
Well, you sound freaking crazy. If you try to explain to someone who doesn't know anything about the abusive relationship and the context and all of that.
Yes.
And you're just like, this is the thing that they did. And everyone's going to look at you like, yeah, that's normal. It's like, it's not normal.
Exactly. It's not normal.
It's not normal, but you sound like a crazy person explaining it to it. Because if Sally went, I hate that he sews my leg up for me.
Yeah, I have to do it myself.
Girl, like, it's not that serious, but it is.
Yeah.
Because there's context.
Yeah.
And that's what they rely upon is layers and layers and layers of this stupid context.
Yep.
That you're not able to explain because you personally are not able to process it and understand how anyone would treat anyone that badly.
Yep.
And so you're already in a mindset where you're trying to forgive them and explain away at it because it doesn't make sense to you. But there is that shame of like, but I don't want to be in an abusive relationship.
Yep.
Ugh.
When she says it several times, she's like, but he is my creator. I was literally created to serve him, to do these things for him, X, Y, and Z. So I'm not allowed to have, right? So that's what I'm saying. This book is so freaking deep, but yet we have an innuendic sex scene of him sewing her leg back on. What is happening?
And a coal monster that cries.
And porcelain that scrunches his face every 5 seconds.
Sally and leaves. So many leaves. They talk about leaves more than they talk about snow.
Yeah.
I swear to goodness.
Someone go back, do a counter, because obviously we're not reading this nonsense again, but someone go back and count how many times this happens.
I know, because it's like, we can just skip straight to read again for my general thoughts, because I'm sitting here like, did I like it? I think I like, did I like it?
Did I? I don't know.
It's not a 2-star, but did I like it? But then if you turn around and you're like, oh, would you ever read this again? No!
No.
Heck no! Don't bring those near me. I had the screenshots. I will delete them. I never want to think about them ever again. If someone ever mentions doing chapter 18, I'm throwing them out the window.
But that's the thing. I never want to think about it, but I will. This book is going to haunt me.
It's going to live in your mind forever. Yes, me too.
So I guess from that perspective, good job. So good job, I guess.
It's not a 5-star. It's not a 2-star. Maybe it's like a 3.5.
Yeah, if you've got the time.
Legitimately, there's stuff in here that's so good, and I feel like the first third is so strong.
Yes.
But we go on a trip.
I wonder if something happened in her life. Maybe I switched my question. Like, did something happen? You're right. You did start so strong. And then there was, it's kind of when Jack came in.
I legitimately think it's the editing process. You can tell as the book goes on, the editing and the content editing gets looser and looser to the point that some of the sentences are so cumbersome, I read them wrong.
Yeah.
I thought they had grammatical errors in them, but it was just such an obtuse way to have lines.
Well, which is also very interesting because when it's read to you, it's fine. So I almost wonder if someone did like voice to text or something here. Like if she was just narrating her book, maybe that's her process. I don't know, because the way it sounded verbally, like it being read to me, was fine. Did not notice any of that.
Yeah. Am I boring you? Jack teased, echoing her own joke from back on Spiral Hill when he'd been the one to be yawning.
Yeah, what is that?
When he yawned, I got lost halfway through that sentence.
Yeah.
So it's just awkward phrasings like that. Like she had never had anyone believe in her before. No one had ever believed in her before. It's just the sentences get clunkier, and I do it myself.
Yeah.
But that's what editing's for. Because your brain is like, this is a smart sentence, and you read it later, and you're like,
whoa.
What the heck? Okay.
Yeah, but that's been something consistent through this entire series is the editing is garbage.
Because they go way too fast.
Yeah, entirely.
In the publishing. And especially since now that we know she is back to back. Every time they do back to back, it's terrible. Snow White was okay for half the book, and then the halves felt rushed because she had to get to Frozen, which she plagiarized the movie completely.
True.
And then you have Liz Braswell, those three back to back. Aladdin's okay, Sleeping Beauty's got its issues, and then Beauty and the Beast's gone. Lost the plot. Completely gone. 2-year hiatus. We bring in Elizabeth Lim, and then she's able to space it out a little bit.
Breathe, yeah.
But considering the fact that she's back to back, especially with a UK
yeah, that's true.
publication, which has completely different editing styles, and then this one.
Yeah.
They need to stop doing that to authors.
Yeah, stop it.
They need time to think and plan and edit.
Yeah, and actually do what they want to do.
Because I don't know when she had to have her final draft in, but we'll go with the first publication. Princess of Thieves came out in April 1st, 2024 in Australia. And then Sally's Lament came out August 31st, 2024.
Wow.
That is how back-to-back her books are.
Yeah, that's fast.
And not to mention, there was a 2-book pause between Set in Stone and these two. So it's not like she was doing nothing before that.
Yeah. Well, it'd be interesting if you put it next to all of her other stuff to see what was published.
When we get back to Princess of Thieves and we have another book where it's like the beginning is really solid and the concept's really solid and then it loses the plot and we're gone, it will make sense.
Yeah, it does.
Because that is way too tight a timeline to be expecting authors to have a brain. That's crazy, but alas. But yeah, one question for the author. Did she think about this question before the book deal? Because if she made this her entire plot, I honestly do wonder at some point if she was like, oh, I wonder if Sally, even if she had daydreams about Sally and Jack and maybe got into fan fiction in her brain, or maybe she was interested in fan fiction, period. But it really does feel like she buys in heavily to the Sally and Jack romance. And so I wonder how much before this, how she thought about Sally as a character before she even got this question.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, mine is, you kind of threw it in there, but legitimately, how did you get this intimacy thing past the editor? I cannot. I'm so hung up.
Disney is so obsessive. Kingdom Hearts 3 took in part so long because Disney was so freaking picky.
Here's what I'll say, because Disney is well known for the movie that is written for the children, and then there's the movie that it comes through to the adults. Every Disney movie is like it, right? Like you go back and you watch Toy Story and you watch Monsters Inc. and all that kind of stuff, and you see the things they threw in there for the adults, right? So that is not an uncommon thing with Disney to get by, but this was a lot.
But that's when we get into the Jen Colonita mid-lit, because in there it's facts, and then the Liz Braswell, what am I reading?
Yeah, that's true.
It's like she heard that she's coming to America. She had 2 UK releases, and she's like, I'm coming to America. Oh, I need to incorporate some of Liz in here.
Gotta throw something in there. Yeah, but I'm uncomfortable with violence, apparently, unlike Liz.
Action scenes, period. Which she had a couple in Sword in the Stone. Not big ones, but the wolf situation.
Yeah.
Because I was like, yeah, you have this action scene with the wolf, but then you defeat them by talking.
Yeah, not so much. So, I don't know. That was intense. That threw me off so hard. And I don't think I'll ever get over it.
Never. Ever. But yes, rating, I would give this taking a 2-year-old trick-or-treating out of 10. You think it's going to be a great time. They look adorable in the costume. It's going to be great. And then you get 3 houses in and they start taking the costume off because they're 2. And so you're holding parts of the costume, but then he wants to trick or treat, but you have to hold the bag and you have to help him anytime there are stairs. And you're holding them by house 5 and they want to keep going, but you are tired.
But you're tired, but it's still going.
And then you get back to your house and you're like, now I have a 2-year-old and a lot of candy.
Yeah, and I really just want to go to bed.
And I have other trick-or-treaters that I still have to hit.
Yeah.
It's a fun idea and concept. The pictures are great, but the entire follow-through is rough.
Yeah. You think about it for so long, as we talked about her obsessing with this, you think about it for so long and then you actually write it and you do it and you're like, oh, yes, this is as great as I thought it was.
I'm kind of done. You're done. I'm done. But we need to keep doing this because, gosh dang it, can we at least make our own street?
I committed to this.
I said I was going to do this, and here I am.
Yeah. I called it off-brand eggnog out of 10 because, man, there comes a time of year where you just really want eggnog and you think it's going to be so good until you realize you actually only like one brand of eggnog, but you're stuck with this whole container of eggnog and it's really expensive. So you're not going to throw it away. You're going to keep finishing the off-brand eggnog that you don't like.
I have never had eggnog.
There's like a certain brand that is so stinking good. I think it's Southern Comfort or something like that. Fantastic. I've never had homemade eggnog. Only the stuff at the store. So good.
I've just never seen the appeal.
Oh, it's good. It's very sweet. It's good. I like eggnog, but just once a year.
And definitely not an entire bottle filled.
Oh, no, I'm done. That was it. It will haunt my dreams, but I will not pick it up voluntarily again.
It's a shorter one, too. It's 350 pages.
Yeah, only 8 hours. Yeah, it was very short.
It's a normal book length, but we did it. One more Twisted Tales under our belt.
How many more do we have left?
1 million.
Oh, they just keep coming out with them. No.
Do they get better? Who knows? That's the fun part. We never know if it's gonna be good or not. Life is a box of chocolates. At least this series is.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. I have so many questions and NDAs going to keep me from knowing. But have you read this book? Congratulations. We've survived. We're forming a club.
The Survivors Club.
We're not really going to talk much. We're just going to sit there and process together.
While someone pranks us by playing sounds of rustling leaves over the speaker, it's going to be me. I'm going to be the pranker.
Oh, gosh. What town do you want to see? I'm really curious what Easter town is like. St. Patrick's Day, okay, you're going to have leprechauns and everything's green. Thanksgiving, probably have like a bunch of pilgrims and stuff and super historically inaccurate stuff.
Yeah.
Fireworks, okay, yes, 4th of July, it's fireworks. Although I wonder what the people would look like. But do we got bunnies running around laying eggs? Are there chickens? Are there eggs?
I bet there's one terrifying bunny whose fur is definitely too dirty to sit on, and that bunny belongs in Halloween Town.
Like, I watched Rise of the Guardians.
Oh, yeah.
I have Easter questions. Do you have any book recommendations for us? Please help.
Yeah, get us out of this.
To us and the author. Tell us all about it in the comments below. If you like the video, hit like, and if you're enjoying yourself, hit subscribe for more. Thank you for exploring Sally's Lament with us. This has kind of turned into our lament, hasn't it?
Honestly, it's a good title because yikes.
Join us next time when we'll be covering The Ghost Bride by Young-Soo Choi. Another Halloween book. Let's go. I'm Sam Reiner.
And I'm Caitlin.
Thank you for not saying rustling leaves. And we hope to see you and a friend here next time. Escaping with Me book. Oh, you should have said, and I'm scrunching my nose. Dang it.
That would have been good.
And we hope to see you and a friend here next time. Escape with Me Book Club is a Lunar Skulk production. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok to keep up to date with us. Lunar_SKULK.